Hello, I am Edie Lush, and I'm the executive editor of Hub Culture, and I am absolutely delighted to be here at Facebook for Facebook Live together with Stan Stalnaker. Stan, go on, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm the founder of Hub Culture, and we have been working together for many years to create experience for our global community at hubculture.com. So 14 years in Davos for me.
This is my 11th year.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for bringing me.
Yeah, well, we see each other all year, but it's really wonderful to have this moment to kind of start 2020, thinking about the agenda, the Davos Manifesto coming out of the forum, and then all of our amazing people and partners who are part of Hub Culture here in Davos. We have 4 venues this year. That's
incredible. We've actually got like a Hub Culture campus, right?
It is the Hub Culture campus.
You can actually, if you could, ice scoot through Davos. You could go through all of ours. So we've got, what do we got? We've got the Tech Lodge, which is our new one.
We have the new Tech Lodge, which is right at the edge of the security zone. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Ice House, which is in its 5th year. It stands for Innovation for the Circular Economy. And it's actually a building that has been built with William McDonough, the architect, and it uses the exact same materials year after year. And it goes up in a week, and it comes back down, it goes into a box, and then it comes back up. And then, of course, it's all powered by the Hub Culture Pavilion, which is the heart of our operation here, and it has all of our team helping our many different partners. And then also the Terrace, which is a new project we're doing with Dell Technologies around essentially private meetings, but it's got a beautiful view of the mountains and everything. But the Ice House has been done with SABIC. It uses polymers and aluminum, so it's actually fully recyclable and what we call end of use, so not necessarily even end of life. The materials of the Ice House can be reborn again later. And then the Tech Lodge is really, for me, the manifestation of a 3-year meditation on the relationship between humanity and technology. Because, technology is moving so quickly, it's actually affecting the human experience in a profound way.
But that's what we wanted to talk about, because I think what we wanted to talk about at Facebook today was about how you build a digital middle class. This is important for Facebook, by the way, because as we came in here, I saw all these different pictures of different people using Facebook, using technology in order to make their lives better. And I do think that that's important to remember. We are faced with so much bad news. However, there's never actually been a better time to be alive. There's never been a better time to be born a girl. There's better access to education, to electricity, and in fact to digital technology. So I want you to tell me what the digital middle class means to you.
Well, this has been a real theme for us within Hub Culture going into Davos. And it came to me, this idea, in October during our Bermuda Innovation Sprint, where we do a big activity in Bermuda. And this is essentially one of our home places, one of our nodes within Hub Culture. And the idea of a global digital middle class to me says, how do we provide inclusion and opportunity for everyone, but in a way that sort of points us toward what we're talking about this year as the future society. And that should be about inclusion and opportunity, and it's built on foundations, which are including access. But, we're kind of heading toward this world in tech where you have this idea of the unicorn, right? Or the winner take all.
The billion-dollar company.
Right. And that works because mathematically, like algorithmically, it's about efficiencies. And so technology magnifies efficiencies. And that's great because it makes the world better. But what I'm really interested in figuring out is what is the economic model that is mathematically superior or correct that can also provide an inclusionary aspect for a global digital middle class. I think part of it is decentralization, which is why we've seen the blockchain boom and the rise of digital currencies and things like that. But it actually goes farther than that. I think this decade is going to be about distributed governance. It's going to be about liquid democracy, and it's about new ways of getting people involved with truth. And I think the truth is the magic serum in all of that, because...
Can I stop you there? Because I think that before we get too meta here in Davos, I do think we need to think about what it takes for people to actually join this digital middle class. You have to be on the internet, right? And we know that last year we passed the moment in which half of the world was on the internet, but that also means that half the world still isn't on the internet.
That's true.
A lot of the people that I've been interviewing this week, so Adrian Lovett from the Web Foundation, for example, talks a lot about how do you get people just on. So that's connection, first of all, and then having the digital skills to do that.
Because connection provides opportunity.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole wealth of new opportunities once you get that connection. And that is, I think, the key thing that's going to lead to a global digital middle class, no matter where you are in the world. You could be in California or you could be in Kenya.
Or Australia.
Well, you know, what's amazing with Australia, and I know you have the new podcast for the Global Goals Cast coming out.
Download today.
Yeah, it's actually out today. But that's an amazing story because we all know the terrible story of the bushfires, which have burned more like land than parts of like even England.
5 times what the fires in California.
Yeah, and 1 billion animals lost. But on the backside of that is a story about digital mobilization, where communities and people in Australia and even the world is actually co-creating and co-collaborating to try to help solve the issue, right?
Yeah, which is fantastic. And by the way, if you're watching Facebook at home or in fact at work or on Instagram Live, we are going to open this up to Q&A. So if you're watching and want to ask us any question you want about what we're talking about or just about Davos in general, add a question in the comments section. I think what's fascinating about the situation in Australia, what I covered in the podcast, is actually how we're all Australia, about how we've spent a long time having, in fact, men in charge, especially in Australia. We've had men who have been part of the issue, which is pushing coal into the actual center of the Australian economy. It's time for women to come in. I've interviewed 2 women on that fact. But one of the things that when I've talked to people about the podcast here, they've said what's so incredible is that after the fact now in Australia, people are using the internet to rally together to bring help. So they're bringing not just, food and blankets and stuff that people have lost, but they're bringing their economy and their Australian money to small towns to go and buy from those towns. So there's a whole idea of getting the economy regenerated, and that's a movement that's come through the phone and in fact through Facebook in part. We've got some questions. Do you want to read the first one?
Yeah, so Mag asks, can anyone be part of the digital middle class? What do I need to take part? How will it help me? I think that's a great question. Do you want to go in or should I?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I think, first of all, I think the key thing is the idea, because I don't think we've really talked about the idea of a digital middle class before. We talk about the social inequality and the idea of society, but it hasn't really been linked to digital. And so the first idea, I think, is getting this idea out there that we need a global digital middle class. And that includes people from all over the world. And it's really cool because it doesn't sort of conflict with the immigration issue, where there's a lot of pressure around the physical transport of people to get access to the middle class. Like, if you're in a poor country, the thought is that you have to sort of physically get yourself to a place that is a rich country. But in the new world, the world that's emerging, you don't have to leave where you are.
You can even be in a refugee camp, right? So you can be in Kakuma refugee camp, where Hub Culture and the Global Goals Cast is going to be in March, helping to celebrate International Women's Day. Kakuma is an incredible representation of what happened. They're building an economy. It's a collaboration between UNHCR, between groups like I Am the Code, one of our partners, between groups like MasterCard, who are helping refugees use digital identities, digital payments in order to buy whatever they want. Those people are absolutely in the digital middle class.
And I think if you're looking about, like, how do I get involved in the digital middle class, I think, for me, I think about what we're doing at Hub Culture to get involved in the digital middle class. First of all, we have teams of people in places like Hyderabad, in the Ukraine, in South Africa, who are working with our executives and our teams in New York, in London, in Bermuda, and they all kind of work together through digital technologies. So we use Slack, we use Upwork, we use Facebook, we use Instagram, and we kind of co-collaborate in different ways. So the people in Hyderabad, who are our team, Varun and these guys, have been working with you and other people to actually build data around our interview requests here in Davos, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's like a great example of having teams, and those guys are great. They're as much a part of our family as the people who are here in the studio. So I think that's one thing. And then the second thing is really digital currency, because digital currencies like Ven or Bitcoin allow you to make a payment and to extend value to the end person. So this is the big thing. Like, the revolution is here in terms of finance, because you can be anywhere in the world and send a digital payment to anywhere in the world, and soon you'll be able to do it with Libra and Facebook. This is like going to unlock so much opportunity for people all across the world by having a single digital payment that you can make instantly. That is going to actually be, I think, a major foundation for this new middle class.
So we've got another question, which was about who we've met that represents the digital middle class at Davos.
That's one for you, because you're doing all the interviews.
So I actually just interviewed somebody that I've interviewed for the podcast as well. Her name's Victoria Alonso Perez. She uses chips in cattle to track them and keeps cows safe from literally cattle rustlers. So there you go. She's in Uruguay. There's one final question about what we've seen. What's something that we've seen online that's inspired you? What have you seen?
Online that's inspired me.
What about our TikToks?
I think, yeah, it's been really fun. I think that what's really interesting to me is the remixing of reality with online, and we're really seeing it here in Davos. And I'll tell you, the thing that actually most has inspired me actually came from WhatsApp. So we have lots of WhatsApp groups that all of our teams are sort of talking constantly. It's like this huge stream of activity. But one of the really great things that I saw was my friend Lucien and your friend in San Francisco with Savannah House sent out this like message to like 100 people 3 days before Davos. And he said, these are the memes. And he's like, the golden decade of the 2020s. Like looking at co-creation, looking at the reaction from the Davos Manifesto, the signal from the lighthouse of the forum, and then it gets emanated into the community and reflected back in different ways. And so having that magical group arrive on WhatsApp and then get distributed to everybody helped me in our creation for like our partners dinner, which is tonight, and something that we're doing at Burning Man around the future society. And I love the idea that like we were just able to imminently and instantly put out this stuff, and then the community reacts to it in real time physically here.
One thing that I really love is that, and we're going to wrap up, one thing that I really love is the messages that we get. We did a sort of team analysis of our personalities, and I now get daily messages reminding me about what happens to Stan when he gets too many things happening to him. So I'd like to just say, first of all, thank you for all your efforts.
And thank you for yours.
You're very welcome.
And also thank you to all of you guys, to our community and members of Hub Culture. We love you, and we love seeing you in person and online. And if you don't know anything about Hub Culture, just go to hubculture.com and
or
become a member.
Or our Facebook page. There's lots of good content there.
There is, and also our Instagram is really fun.
Exactly, and we're on TikTok too.
Yeah,
that's all we have time for today.
Hey, Facebook, thanks for having us with you.
Exactly. Thanks you very much. If we haven't answered your questions, put them in the comment section, and we'll absolutely get back to you. Thank you, and goodbye.
Yeah, happy Davos.